Yay, I am live and I'm on StreamYard now. It's none of that other craziness right now, so we'll see how this goes. We shall see how this goes. All right, let's see. Am I live in the other group now? Yes, I am. There we go. Yay! But now I've got like that horrible glare on my glasses. I need to get new glasses anyway, so when I do, I'm making sure I get the glare coating on them. Clean my glasses up real quick. Yeah, I know. Okay, who is Facebook user? Do I accept the transfer? Like, what do you mean transfer? Like, the e-transfer? D, I only really have PayPal and Cash App. I would have to look at how to maybe do a e-transfer. D, you can actually friend me and we can work something out to set up a private reading. That might be easier since I don't have it set up for doing an e-transfer tonight. So I'll just post this in here for everyone so y'all can see this. And that has right now I currently have PayPal and Cash App, and I can actually take stuff through Facebook Messenger through the pay that you can do through Facebook Messenger. So you can actually message me via Facebook and do a payment via that way as well if you want to for a reading. But I'm also doing spiritual Q&A, so if any of you have any questions, hello, Da Vinci. How are you doing? Yes, persistence, most definitely, Tiff. We have been fighting through all of this tonight. It has been crazy night. Crazy night tonight. It's what? This is the fourth time that I've done this because I've done it 3 times on Facebook because it kept going to it kept going to where no one could comment. So, okay. Fourth time, yes. Fourth time is beyond the charm. We've already passed the charms. We're into something new now. So, anybody have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about on the spiritual Q&A while we wait for anyone that's interested in some readings? Done a reading for Tiffany, done a reading for Crew. They've both been pretty spot on. We'll see if anybody else wants to do a reading tonight. We can do something. Get something worked out. You would like a rune? How many runes do you want to go, Diana? Blame the internet goblins and gremlins. Do you want to do a 3 rune or do you want to go for a full 9 rune spread? Oh, you want to do a 1 rune? Yeah, I'll do a single rune for you. I wasn't sure if you was wanting to do one of the more in-depth spreads. You want to do a single rune pull. I love single rune pulls. All right, let me see. I'm going to be doing some stuff with some runes too. I might actually be crafting some runes out of that ash tree. Oh, runes, Da Vinci. Oh, that one just popped right out of the bag. So I'm saying that one's yours right there, Diana. So runes, what I use is the Elder Futhark runes, which they are an old Nordic form of divination. And this one is, make sure I'm looking at the right rune. I am. Come on. There we go. My runes are made out of a red jasper agate. And so this is Ansu's, which just symbolizes communication, understanding, and inspiration. It's tied into like the mouth and the throat chakras. It's tied into the throat chakra. It's tied into the mouth. It's all about, making sure. This is all about making sure that you're speaking your truths, that you're opening up your communication, that you're not holding back, and that you're communicating properly. Let me go ahead and pull another one because I want to see what goes on, what might go along with that. Because the communication can go, it's either you need to communicate or you're having trouble communicating. So are you at a point where you're having trouble communicating with anything? Let's see. The next rune that you pulled is I'm always horrible at pronouncing the names. It's Manas. And this symbolizes individuality, friendship, society, cooperation, and help. Do you have problems asking for help when you need it, Diana? There we go. Because it's either you're having trouble asking for communication, like communicating when you need help, or it can be, yeah, there it is. And so you need to be able to open yourself up and work for being able to ask for help. And it's important that second one is related to your friends, to your family, to your community, because those are the people that you need to reach out to for that help. And so these runes are telling you, you need to work on that communication with them and saying, hey, I need this help. I need some assistance. Can you help me out? That's not a sign of weakness. That is just really how we're supposed to operate as a community and as a tribe, as a family, as a group. We should be looking to each other and seeing what we can do to help one another out. Here, Diana, I'll take a picture of these runes and send over to you. See, and you know what? I understand that. And I always got that. Well, if you want it done right, you just do it yourself and don't leave it up to anyone else, But then I learned that sometimes part of what is important is making sure that sometimes it might be a thing that you need to ask someone for help, not so much for you, but so that they get the opportunity to help you and that they get the opportunity to learn by being there with you and helping you. And that applies to your family, and that applies to any friends or coworkers as well, where there might be something a project that you're trying to undertake and you need a little bit of help because you're feeling stressed with it. And you can bring them in and get them to help. And at that same time, you can teach them lessons and stuff that will help them out. Yes, absolutely. It's a two-way street. Diana, I'm going to send you a picture of the end of that one piece of ash that's about 2 inches wide. And that I think I'm going to cut into disc and make some runes out of. And it's quite long, so I can make several sets out of it probably. But that whole ash tree that came off of has to come down. It's gonna fall down. The tree's dying. It needs to come down. It's gonna end up falling either on the barn or someone. Oh, very nice. Diana just shared a picture of a set of runes that she made that are made out of cherry wood. Those are gorgeous. Do you ever add the blank rune into your set, Diana? When you make them? I know it's a debated rune. A lot of people said that it's not a traditional rune, which I think is kind of hard to tell because since it's a blank stone, how do you know if it was a traditional rune or not? If you find a rune set and there's a blank stone next to it, was that really part of the set or not? Yeah, Adam and Eve mythology, Norse mythology, all sorts of stuff. Let me see if I can do a screen share and show those. Diana, do you mind if I show that set of runes? I want to ask her first because they are hers. Okay, I will do a screen share and show off. That is what she is showing me right now. And I just dumped all my runes out of the bag onto the table because I want to find my blank. And there's my blank. That's my blank rune. So absolutely nothing carved on it. It's just a blank rune. And it stands for the Odin rune for a lot of people. Oh god, yes, those are absolutely gorgeous. I've had this set of runes that I'm using tonight for over 25 years now. So this set of runes has been with me a while. We're a tad bit connected. Hi, Ruth. I'm doing Oracle and Rune. I'll do Tarot. I'm not going to start doing Tarot until Halloween. I just decided that that's going to be my coming back to reading Tarot officially again, because I used to read Tarot in my 20s and a little in my 30s, and then I stopped for a while, and I'm coming back to Tarot again. So I just decided Samhain's going to be when I bring Tarot back into my life. Hi, Natalie. How's everyone doing? There's usually 24 to 25 runes in a set, so yeah, I absolutely love the red jasper agate. It's gorgeous. Some of the, you just got that quartz running through there, and there's some other just bits of other minerals and gems and stones and elements running in through it. It's gorgeous. Show you guys off my mug. It's one of my favorite mugs. It says World's Best Degenerate. It's from one of my buddies who streams on Twitch. He's all into taking the word degenerate back and making it a positive thing. There's reading bones, but the runes are more Nordic. They're more of a Norse Viking origin. You'd love to make me a set of runes? You can definitely PM me. I'm always interested in talking with people about different things like that and making sets of runes. I'm going to be crafting, like I said, a set out of. Hold on, let me see if I can find the images, and I'll just show you guys. I am just going to go to our Modern Mystic group where I shared all this stuff. So give me a second. We have this gorgeous ash tree that I helped plant when I was a kid out in my parents' backyard. And this tree, part of it came down. How much is the readings? Hold on here. I'll post this link in. And y'all can take a look at that. And that will tell you all the informations on the readings. And I'm not hard set on that. I mean, it's one of those things that I will, I can negotiate with people on readings and stuff. And also, if you want like a more in-depth reading than what I'm doing tonight, because live readings, I don't get nearly as in-depth as I do in my private reading sessions. In my private reading sessions, I go really, really deep and in-depth. So I'm going to share the screen again. Throw this up in here. These are some pieces of branches that I took off of an ash tree at my father's house. And the short one is just shy of 35 inches long. The long one is about 46.5 inches long. I can do general reads or specific reads. That's actually a wand that Pam made. That's something that our dear, lovely Pam made. She's showing off some of her stuff. Let me see. I had pictures of... here we go. So this is the one that I'm going to cut disc out of for the runes. They're about 2 inches across. And I'm going to slice this one up into probably about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick disc. So nice little chalky disc. And then I will, I need to get a wood burning kit. I don't have one currently. Not hard to get a hold of, though. I'll get one. And when I get that, I'm going to slice up. Okay, most definitely, Ruth. Let me know. And as soon as you do that reading, I will confirm that. And we will get you on and get your reading going. We will definitely get that going. Let's see. Well, each of you folks have a beautiful evening. All blessings intended for you. Da Vinci, definitely reach out to me if you end up wanting to do anything with some rune readings or anything. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm available pretty much all the time throughout the week and the weekends. This is what I do. So you can reach out to me. But yeah, so I'm going to slice that one and make some runes out of it. Also, this wood is really good for making talismans for protection and healing. So I'm going to be making some talismans for protection and healing and making some pendants and stuff out of this as well. So that's some things that you'll see me crafting up over the next few months and offering out there for people to pick up if they want. It's just some of the things I'm going to be doing. I've decided that I'm going to start looking to harvest different kinds of woods. I'm going to be working with some woods, some more natural materials. I also have this lovely, beautiful 1 kilogram pack of DOS polymer clay, which I can actually do runes and stuff out of this, carve into them, and bake these and get those all done too. There's a lot of times runes are done with clay like this. I've had sets of clay runes in the past. So don't worry, Tiffany. Something's coming your way out of some of that ash. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. It's going to be a surprise. Some other people already know because I'm talking to them about collaborations on some stuff, getting some things from them to make it happen. I love doing stuff like this though. This is like what is so fun to me. Being able to like do crafting and make things like that help people dive deeper into their spiritual walk and their spiritual surprises. But you have to wait because it's going to take a little while. You might not get it until maybe a couple days after Christmas. I got to do it right. Let's see. All right. Patience isn't your strongest. This is going to be fun because I get to torment you with what I'm working on. Maybe I'll send you like little snippets and we'll just see if you can figure out what I'm doing like over the months. And the reason I'm waiting is because I want to take it through blessings on certain holidays and stuff before I get it to you. Oh, don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. You will survive. I promise you will survive. You will get through this. But like some of the things that I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to craft like some altar boxes, like where I can make portable altars for people. And I have a friend who does some woodworking, so I might actually get some wood and commission him to make boxes for me. But one of the things I've done is like I took this box, which was an old cigar box, and I just sanded it down. Didn't do a whole lot to it. I had a liner here inside, and since it's all black inside, it's kind of hard to see with different lighting and stuff. So I'm trying to get light at an angle. But in here, it had a paper thing that was glued, so I had to sand it all out with a sander, and then I painted the whole inside black. And I was going to use this for rune casting, but I'm also thinking about maybe using it more along the lines of a spell box or a what I've thought about doing is when I'm traveling out to places, like putting my divination tools in here that I'm going to use, along with some things to protect them and keep them safe, because it's all lined up black, so it'll protect them against any kind of negative energy or bad vibes or juju coming at them while I'm out doing stuff, and keep them in here. I'm also going to do, many altar boxes. And I'm thinking about doing altar boxes in this size as well. But I also want to, I'm going to get some of the tins that are like the little Altoid style tins, but don't have the Altoid stuff on there. They're just plain. I'm going to do that. And Ruth, I believe I just got your payment. Yes, went through Cash App. You're wanting to do one of the are you wanting to do the 9 rune spread? 9 rune spreads are fun. I haven't done a 9 rune spread for a while. 9 rune spreads are a little interesting. Because they're a little bit different than doing single rune spread, like pools, like what I just done, because I actually pull these out and cast them onto the table. And in time, when I get my new studios set up, I'm going to have a camera set up for actually doing the castings. Well, here, I tell you what, this is actually why I originally designed this box. So let's use this box tonight for that reason. But I think I'm taking this box in a different purpose. So, and the thing is, when you cast runes this way, when the runes land either face up or face down, it's not so much like So let's see. I cast out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 6, 7, 8, and 9. And so the funny thing about reading runes is I'm going to see if I can do this in a way that you guys can see this, and I'm going to readjust my camera. All right, let me rotate it around this way. You guys just saw the mess on the floor from Tanner. So when you read runes, I'm going to read them from left to right, but I'm not going to read them in that exact order, because if you see, some of the runes are facing down. These runes that are facing down, these two here and these two here, are all facing down. That's not like a reversal in tarot. Those are things that are not as... Yes, I'm still taking readings. I'll be taking readings for probably about at least the next hour or so. So just so you know, the runes that are facing down are runes that are things that are important, but they're not in your immediate sphere of needing to deal with right now. And so the runes that are flipped face up are the ones that are really important. So we're going to go through those ones first. And actually, let me grab my notebook here so I can take notes, because sometimes I do this while I do readings, just so I can keep track of how these things are laid out and which is flipped over which way and which is not. Hold on a second, D. Let me put this in here. Hi, Gina. So, our first rune we got for you, that is face up, which we're going to deal with the face up runes first, okay? This is Issa, and it represents clarity. It also represents stasis, challenges, introspection, and watching and wanting. So we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to look at the other runes and kind of see how they play in. And a 9 rune spread, Ruth, is usually tied in to a lot of times the spirituality. And the thing is, you don't read runes in reversals either. Like if they're upside down and stuff, you don't read them like a reversal like you would. So let's see. I want to write down the order these runes came up. So that was Issa. And so here's your next rune. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus in on. This one here is... Hold on. Laguz, and this represents intuition, emotion, flow, renewal, dreams, hopes, and fear. Let's see. Let's see. We got to block this person. They're coming in here trying to get... Oops. Trying to get everyone else to do readings while I'm in here trying to do readings. What a scammer. Get out of here, Samantha Smith. That's not cool. I just blocked them. Okay. So, sorry I had to deal with that. Your next one is the Ewas, or Ewas. It's... and this is in the order that they were flipped up versus down. And so we'll approach these as the immediate ones. These are things that are in the immediate sphere of influence right now, Ruth. And then we'll flip over the other ones, and then we'll touch in on those. And for the Ewas, this represents transportation, movement, progress, trust, and change. Then the next one you have is right here. Actually, make sure I'm pointing this one the right way. Oh, come on. There we go. That's how this one's meant to be read. If I can get it to focus in on it. Come on, silly camera. Focus. Focus. It's meant to be read to the side. There we go. Ha ha. There you go. And this is Kanaz. It represents a torch, and it symbolizes vision, creativity, inspiration, improvement, and vitality. So you've got some really powerful runes here. And then I love this one. This is one of my favorite runes. This is the Burkana. Burkana rune is a gorgeous rune. I love the Burkana rune. Burkana rune is so amazing. Let's see. And so Burkana stands for, I'm sorry, I was checking to see, I thought I had another thing coming through. Burkana represents the birch tree, and it stands for femininity, fertility, healing, regeneration, and birth. Okay. And so the next stone that we've got, and these are the ones that are upside down. So these are the ones that are kind of a little bit less immediate in your immediate realm of influence, but still within that realm of influence. These things are things that are potential things that will come to pass. Okay, D, thank you. That's what my Cash App was buzzing for. I will get to you here in just a second. As soon as I am done with this reading, I will get to you on yours. Okay, so this is your next rune. Let me get it oriented properly. All right, and this is the Wunjo, and this represents joy. It symbolizes pleasure, comfort, harmony, prosperity, reward, and success. And so that's something that you're going to have coming. It's not necessarily in that immediate sphere of influence. D, love life stuff is a little difficult because it involves someone else, but I'll work with you the best that I can on that. We'll just see where things go with the cards, okay? I do not do any readings on anything medical or legal, so nothing along those lines, and that includes pregnancies, anything medical or legal I do not do readings for. Okay. So your next rune, it's funny, it is the rune right after Wunjo on in the order of the runes, and it is Hagalaz, and it stands for hail. It symbolizes nature, wrath, being tested, overcoming obstacles. So that is something that is coming in later atmosphere. And the thing is, when we do these readings are kind of intense, and that's why I charge a little bit more for these readings, because they take a little longer. Very nice rune coming up now. Let me make sure I get it oriented in the right. Hold on. Sometimes getting them oriented in the right direction so they look right is the challenge. Okay. Should be that way. And this one here is the Jarrah. This represents the year. This symbolizes cycles, completions, changings, harvest, and reaping rewards. So you've got a lot of stuff about rewards and stuff coming to you. You've got a lot of good things coming to you in this reading. And then your final rune is the Tharishas. And once again, I apologize if I am pronouncing these wrong. I'm not always good or the best with pronunciations of some of these words because they're not to my native tongue. Trying to get that one to come into focus. And this represents a thorn. It symbolizes reactions, defense, conflict, catharsis, or regeneration. And so, you know what? I did not write down those later runes. Let me do this in order real quick. Just so I have these down. So the Wunjo, the Hagalaz, the, what was the other one? The Jarrah, and the Tharissas. Okay, so in your immediate field, you've got the Issa, but right next to it, so the Issa is representing clarity or stasis. So and something that's, you know, needing to have like some introspection, but there's it also represents challenges. And so some of these challenges that you're going through are going to be things that you're going to have some of these rewards and stuff that was tied to the Wunjo, which is the next one. And so the Wunjo was representing pleasure, comfort, harmony, prosperity, rewards, and success. So as you're keeping an eye out on things and you're going through the challenges and you're keeping the eyes out for that clarity, you're working through everything that's going on with the Issa, the Wunjo is going to come to you in time, which is the rewards of that success of working through that. The next one that you had was the Hagalaz, which this was the next one in the order. And this was something that was in the not immediate realm of influence. The Issa was. So whatever is going to, that you're looking at as far as that challenge and that thing that you got to look at with that perception is something that's in your immediate realm of influence already. Okay. So the second, like I said, the second one was the Wunjo. Now you've got the Hagalaz, which this represents nature, wrath, and being tested and overcoming obstacles. So there's still going to be even more obstacles for you to overcome as you're getting some of those rewards. There's still going to be more obstacles for you to overcome, but don't be worried. You're going to get through those. Because your next room is the Lagus. And this is a beautiful rune. I love this one. I just actually love the stone and stuff too. And with this, this symbolizes intuitions, emotion, flow, renewal, dreams, hopes, and fears. And so as you're going through it's going to be really, really, really critical that, and this is in your immediate realm of influence as well, that you're paying attention to your hopes, your fears, making sure that you're keeping things in check. Don't allow your fears to take control. Make sure that you're working on your dreams. Maybe do some things as working on dream journals. That might be some of the things that you're having challenges overcoming, is some of the things that you're really trying to strive for on your spiritual path as your spiritual, on your spiritual goals. Let me get that person off of there. We'll pull up something here. We'll pull up Tiff. We'll pull that up just because that's encouraging to me. So let's see. So it's going to be really important for you to pay into and words. Okay, Ruth, it's going to be really important for you to pay attention to your dreams, but also that rune is tied into your emotions and into your intuition. And so don't discount those either. Your dreams, your emotion, your intuition, those gut feelings that you know, but you don't know how you know kind of feelings, don't discount those as something that's not legitimate, okay? The next rune you got was the Jarrah Rune. And this one is kind of a little further. This is one of the ones that's not in the immediate realm of influence. Um, very on point. This is great. Rewarded with my finances, but I think it's, let's see, let me pull this up. But I think the challenge and the perception is in relationships. I need to maybe cut some toxicity. And see, that is that. Let's continue on through the runes and see where they go. But I think you're really on point with some of that stuff too. So you got the Jarrah Rune. The Jarrah represents cycles, completion, changing, harvest, and reaping rewards. So you're really on point, because this rune is something that's not in that immediate sphere of influence, but as you go through, like, working on cutting some of that toxicity out, once again, you're going to go through a season where you harvest the rewards, you harvest the benefits of all of that stuff that you're going to be doing. And this is going to be something that can help clear you out on your emotional and spiritual path as well, in order to dive deeper along that journey, if that's one of the things that you're seeking. But some of these things can really, really be a struggle. Ruth, let's, after this reading, but I'll get you through this reading, but also hit me up and let's message afterwards. I'll do some talking with you and we'll talk through some of that stuff, because sometimes it's not necessarily leaving a person, but maybe just distancing or setting boundaries and stuff. And we can talk through that a little more, and we can maybe try to figure out what might be the best avenue for you to pursue in dealing with that situation, especially if it's something you're really torn on. And maybe we can go into doing, I'll pull some other cards and stuff for you, and we'll see how we can get things going with that too. Okay. So your next rune was the Thursaz. And this one represents the thorn, and this represents reactions, defense, conflicts, catharsis, and regeneration. Okay. So this is part of that. This is, you're going right back into having to deal with some of that conflict, but there's also the regeneration that can come in this as well. You can get that healing that's coming, that comes through with dealing with that conflict and bringing some resolution to it by resolving that conflict, by dealing with it. Because if you just leave it there, it's just going to continue to fester, and it's going to be like an infected wound, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And until you actually get in there and you get that infection taken care of and you get it out of there, and sometimes it's really painful to get it out of there, you've got to get that out and remove it. And, that might mean you have to cut the person out of your life, but that also might mean that you just need to set some boundaries with that person and be really strong and sturdy on those boundaries and say, hey, you've got a choice. Either respect my boundaries, respect who I am as a person, or you cannot be in my life. And that's, some of those things are the steps that we need to take to getting where we need to be. So we're not being pulled down by someone else. Let's see. The next one that you had, I forgot to write one of them down here on the list. I'll go back and grab that here in a second. The next one that you had was the Iwas. And this symbolizes transportation, movement, progress, trust, and change. And so with everything that you're talking about, this really just means that you need to trust in yourself and trust in the movement, trust in the fact that you can't stay how things are. Something has to change to get past all the stuff that's going on. You very much need to move beyond staying in this stagnant situation, which even this first rune talked about being in a stasis, which can be something where you're held and you're held in stasis. And so you're stagnant. You're not able to move. You're not able to move forward. And so if this situation is holding you back, this is something that you immediately need to address. And this rune was also in both of these last three runes are all in. Tiffany, go get some rest, sweetheart. Please, please, please go rest. I know you've been dealing with a lot health-wise lately. Get some rest. Thank you for coming out. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. So your next rune was this was the one I didn't write down. This was the Kinnas. And or the Knaz. And this represents the torch. It represents vision, creativity, inspiration, improvement, and vitality. And so as you're moving through these things, Ruth, what you're going to get is you're going to get that inspiration coming in. You'll get that. Veronica, yes, I'm still taking readings. If you want to send via Cash App, I would love to give you a reading, Veronica. Actually, Veronica, don't I still owe you a reading from the last time we done readings with Tiffany? I told you I would give you a reading, and I never got around to giving you one. And so, I got you, Veronica. Don't worry about sending Cash App. I got you because I still owe you a reading from them, and we just never got around to it. So I've got you on that. And so this rune, Ruth, is let's see. I've got D, and then I got Veronica. Do I have anyone else that has sent in money for a? Yes, I am doing live readings, and has anyone else sent money in for readings just so I can make sure, because I haven't checked anything in the last few moments while I've been doing this ones, but I'll check afterwards. But let's get back to this. The Knaz, this represents vision and creativity, Ruth. This also represents vitality and improvement. So as you're going through all these changes and as you're starting to clear all this crap out, you're making these changes, you're getting that toxicity out, you're setting those boundaries, you're setting those borders, you're being firm in that. Stand in your strength, stand in your power, stand in your divinity, stand in that divine femininity. Okay. Stand strong in those things, because the next rune is all about the feminine and all of that with the Burkana. Okay. But there's a lot of good things that's coming with this, and you really, really, really need to trust in that. You need to trust in that, your visions and that inspiration and that creativity to help you move through these things and stand in those things in your feminine powers. And last but not least, we got the Burkana, which is honestly one of my favorite runes in the Elder Futhark. The Burkana stands for the birch tree, but it also symbolizes femininity, fertility, healing, regeneration, and birth. And so, Ruth, I really, really, really think as all these things are coming to pass, and this one was in your immediate realm of influence, as you're going through all these things, stand strong in your divine femininity. Stand strong in who you are as a woman. Do not doubt that. Do not let anyone question that. Do not let anyone challenge that whatsoever. Do not let anyone belittle you or put you down for that, okay? This also represents, the Burkana also brings about regeneration and healing as well. So there will be a healing of what's going on with all the things. Oh, nice, nice, very nice. Stand strong in that. Connect to who you are, Ruth. Connect to your inner self. This right here is really, really important. That is really important. And so make sure you're standing in that. But as all of these things come to a close, as you're working through all this stuff, Ruth, and you're dealing with all these challenges, all of these different things that's going on with people, you're going to get a healing, and there's going to be a regeneration. There's going to be things that you lost that are going to get restored back to you. And so don't fret and worry over some of those things. There's going to be a restoration of things that you've lost while either being involved in this relationship or going through the difficulties of this transition and this trial. Don't worry, because all that's coming back to you, Ruth. Pull these out, put them in the bag for the next round of casting. If you got any questions, Ruth, feel free to ask while I get ready for the next reading. I think D's up next. And anyone who does a reading with me, I encourage you guys to friend me. And if you have any questions over the next few months or upcoming months, weeks, days, whatever, over the stuff in the readings, feel free to reach out and message me. D, you was next up and you wanted a full reading. Are you still with us, D? Hi, Nicola. The 9 rune readings get a little in depth. I may not always offer those on lives. I might do those more solo readings from here on out. I'll offer them tonight. I wanted people a chance to see what the rune readings are because I haven't done a lot of them. So, Ruth, I'm very, very grateful for you for doing that. Thank you. Thank you for requesting that reading tonight. Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you so much. And I also do some stuff through like this is Tiffany's stuff that I'm working with. I work with Tiffany. I partner with her a lot. The Modern Mystic. I do a lot of stuff with Modern Mystic. I myself have a site called Breaking Reality. Give me a second, and I will grab it. And I actually do a podcast. And every Tuesday nights, I do a live roundtable discussion. And Tiffany usually jumps in with me on those. But here's my Facebook link for Breaking Reality. If you guys want to join Breaking Reality so you can follow specifically the stuff that I do more. But I'm highly involved in the Modern Mystic groups. Any of these groups that this was shared out in, I'm active in. I'm working in them. I'm part of the moderator team and stuff. So. Well, the full card spread is for runes. That's what, or not for runes, but for Oracle and stuff. That is what we've got. D, I want to offer you the option to choose your decks. I have the Sacred Rebels deck, which I've been using this as the back of the cards. Gorgeous art on them. I done a reading earlier for Tiff out of this deck. Just some stunning artwork on this deck. I done a reading earlier for Crew off of this deck. This is the Halloween Oracle deck. It's just got some really nice Halloween imagery. Love the back of the cards too. They're gorgeous. They're cute. I think that's adorable. That pumpkin cracks me up every time. And the bat is smiling if you can actually see it. The bat and the ghost are smiling. They're all happy. And then the other deck that I have that I'm currently working with tonight is the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. You want the Halloween? I will definitely go with the Halloween. I love the Halloween, and it is the season. The ghouls and the goblins are out, and it's all time to get spooky. I'm going to be adding in a couple more decks, and actually I will be creating an event probably this week and setting it up so people can start joining in on it. And I'm thinking about setting up time slots so people can actually reserve readings on that day. But on October 31st, Halloween, I am going to do live readings all that day. I'm going to be doing tarot readings. I'm going to be introducing tarot into my reading cycle on that day after not have read tarot in about 15 years. I'm coming back to tarot. I've been working with it on my own. But Tiffany gifted me this beautiful Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. And so there's absolutely no way I can't use a Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck on Halloween. Come on, it's Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town. Come on. How can I not use that deck? But there's also two other decks that I'm going to be purchasing. One is Season of the Witch, Samhain, which some people might know Samhain. You might think it's pronounced Samhain. But it's actually Samhain in the Gaelic. And that is Halloween. Same holiday, October 31st. Different names. So, yep, I'm going to get you a 6-card spread going here, D. I just shuffle the cards until cards pop. So we're just getting cards all shuffled up right nice. Right there. A couple cards are starting to pop for you already. So we'll pull your 6 cards and I'll show you the cards and then I will give you the rundown of the reading. When I do readings, private readings with people, I offer the ability to do recordings for the readings where I will record the reading and send to you. I can also take pictures of the cards and send to you. That's stuff that I have the ability to do. I can go and just like I've got recording software that I can just kick on and record it for you. That way you can have that session if you want to go back and look at it again. That's stuff that I set up in my private readings. It's easier to do that than on here because I'm constantly kicking stuff up and down if I'm not. So got 3 of your cards pulled out. But let's see. D was wanting to know about your love life. What aspect of your love life? Are you just kind of wanting a generalized reading on your love life? Or, I mean, and I like, honestly, these are kind of riskier things that I don't do a whole lot because love life stuff, it involves 2 people and I'm not always reading on both people at the same time. Like it's easier to read a couple than it is to read one person and, you know, kind of bring that other person's intention into it as well. You're getting some interesting cards, especially for a spiritual reading. For a relationship reading. I'll get the words all figured out sooner or later. So your first card is Barmbrack, which is like a sweet bread that they'll serve in and around this time of year. And it represents sweetness and synergy. You're an Aries in your life. I honestly am not, I'm not a zodiac person. I'm not the astrology person. Like I know some basic astrology, but there are people that are way more gifted on astrology than I am. I'm more of a card reader. Cartomancy is more my gift and my talent. We all have different talents and astrology is just not my wheelhouse. So your second card is the Skull of Light, which stands for illumination. Your third card is the Apple, which stands for risk and reward. Your third card is the Werewolf for exploring the wildness. Not the wilderness, the wildness. Are you ready to go howl at the moon? You got Trick or Treat, which represents mischief and play. Absolutely love this card. I think it's so cute. Come on, focus in on the card, not my face. I absolutely love this deck, people. Polly, this deck is such a great deck. And the back of the cards are so cute. I got to show them off again. I'm sorry, people. I love the back of the cards. And then you got Black Cat, which means fortune meets opportunity. And so, honestly, in looking at these for your kind of love life, your relationship stuff, there's a sweetness and synergy in this. The synergy talks about having a connection with someone, an emotional, not just an emotional, but you just vibe with that person. You just connect with them. So whoever you're looking at for a partner, and I don't know if this is someone that you're looking at, if you're with someone, what's going on. I don't know the current situation, but you need to find someone that's going to have that sweetness and that synergy with you. Someone who's going to be very loving and caring and compassionate for you, someone who's going to give you kind of that warm, fuzzy feeling. Because like when you imbibe in like barmbrack, it's one of those like warm feelings. It's one of those, oh, this is like that really kind of like homey, harvesty celebration, just makes you feel happy, makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, makes you feel loved. It's that sweetness and that synergy that comes with that that's important. Okay. And then the next card that you've got going into this is the Skull of Light. And so you've got the it what stands for illumination. So there's going to be a light shined on something that's going on with that. So there's going to be an illumination. There's going to be a light shining on it. There's going to be a brightness to that relationship when it is the right one that comes along. When it is that right person, that is going to be there. And what you're going to see is there's going to be risk. In any relationship, there's going to be risk and there's going to be rewards. This card sometimes will tie into like the poison apple story, and that's where you kind of see the blood dripping down there off of the hand with like the Snow White storyline. But even in that, Snow White got her reward in the end with the prince. You know, there was the risk of everything that she went through with that, but she got the reward in the end as well. And that's one of the things that you've got to look at as you're going through your relationship. You've got to look at your risk and your rewards for either your prince or your princess that might be coming. But there's some risks that might need to be taken along those lines. And don't be afraid to kind of step into those risks in the relationship of, you know, don't feel so shut off that you're not willing to risk getting into something with someone that you think could be great just because it might also not work out and you're worried about that hurt. That's part of life. That's part of the lesson. And so you've got to take those risks. And if you don't take those risks, you're not going to reap those rewards. You know, you always hear the saying that luck favors the bold. It's because they're willing to take risk. And they get the higher rewards because they're willing to take those risks. Now, the next card is the Werewolf card, which is exploring wildness. And so I think this is what this card is telling you, is that you need to not kind of tame yourself down, that you need to not be so restricted in your relationship, that you need to kind of be that wild woman, that untamed woman. And actually, it's really funny that this comes up, especially talking with a woman. If you haven't picked up this book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, The Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype, this is a book I suggest every single woman pick up and read at least once in her life. Okay? This is an amazing book. It is set up with short stories. Some of them are longer, some of them are bigger, but it's short little stories through the book. And what it is it breaks down the different wild woman archetypes through different stories of different, like the sealskin soul, talking about returning to oneself. Let's see. Here's one of the wolf woman talking about the wild woman, the resurrection of the wild woman. But there's all kinds of stuff in here that talks about the different archetypes of the women. And yes, the women who run with wolves. I really, really think that if you haven't read this book, you need to. It's not a really expensive book. You can pick it up on Amazon. It's a really popular book. So like you hit up a bookstore or something, like your local bookstore, they'll have it or be able to order it for you. Or even your local library. If you don't want to pay for the book, you can hit up the library, hit that up. But I think a big part of that, and especially if you're talking about you've had dreams with wolves, I think that you need to really embrace kind of that wild side of yourself. Don't allow yourself to be tamed. Be that wild woman. Embrace your passions. Embrace who you are. Don't allow someone to put you in a cage. Don't allow someone to make you less because they're trying to control you. You are not meant to be controlled. You are meant to stand in your strength, in your power, who you are, and to be brave and bold in that. So be wild, like the werewolf. I mean, come on. Werewolf's going to howl at the moon. It doesn't care what anyone else thinks. It's going to howl and be crazy and do what it's going to do because you know what? Screw everyone else. They're going to stand in who they are. And in that, I love this next card. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck, too. It's the Trick or Treat card. Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat, Trick or Treat. I read all about this card earlier in like one of the 3 attempts on Facebook where we was having troubles with it. Because I have the books, but I don't necessarily read out of the books. I read more intuitively when I read cards. So if you go and read the books, they're written by, whoever put this deck together, which this deck was put together by Stacy DeMarco. Stacy done an amazing job putting this deck together. Has amazing descriptions in the book. So if you go and you get this deck and you read the book, some of the descriptions on the cards might be a little different than my interpretations because they're going through Stacy's interpretations and perceptions of the card versus the way that I'm working with the cards. And sometimes I'll step back to Stacy stuff because it connects. But the Trick or Treat card, Trick or Treat. This is all about having fun. This is all about community. This is all about being playful. This is all about connecting to those around you. This is about a time of celebration. And I think in your wildness and being untamed, you need to know that you can celebrate that. You can party. You can have fun. You can let loose and be playful. And you can be a little mischievous, But the important thing is when we're being mischievous is making sure that as we're mischievous, we're not malicious in our mischievousness. Mischievousness should be playfulness. It should be, teasing, nothing that's going to cause anyone harm. And so have fun with being that person. Have fun with, being a little playful, be a little joyful, celebrate, have that community, connect with people around you. Because that's really what Trick or Treat's about. Think about it. On Trick or Treat, you go into any town and there are hundreds of kids dressed up in amazing costumes, running around, screaming, laughing, giggling, having a fun time. People are passing out candy. How can you not be happy on Halloween? How can you not be happy on Beggar's Night when it's going on? If you're not happy that night, you're kind of grumpy and you kind of probably need to put on a mask yourself, run around and giggle and laugh like a kid too. And then the last card that you got is the beautiful, beautiful black cat. Gorgeous black cat. And this means fortune meets opportunity. So in this relationship, there's going to come about the chance for fortune. And fortune doesn't always mean money. Fortune can mean that deep love, that deep connection, that partner that's priceless. That opportunity that comes along, that you meet that priceless partner that just makes that connection for you in a way that just no one else has ever made that connection for you. And that is something that nothing, no amount of money, no amount of anything can compare to that kind of connection. There's nothing. You just had a black cat that someone took. I just had a black cat pass my path last night when I was coming back from a friend's house after hanging out doing readings for them with this exact same deck. And as the cat passed across my path, I thanked it because I know black cats are not always a bad thing. Black cats to me are actually very beautiful. They're very lucky. And I absolutely love black cats. But just remember that the fortune that comes with that opportunity, when that opportunity rises with that partner, seize that. It's going to give you things, not just, there could be financial gains in it, but it's not just the financial that really, really matters in this D. It gets really, really deep into just the connection with that partner. And if you get things that give you that opportunity to go deeper and deeper, deeper into that connection, take those. Don't pass those up. Don't pass those up. Remember that risk and reward. Remember to be playful. Remember to be wild. You don't worry a whole lot about trying to fit into society's view or idea of who you are, of who they think that you should be. You really need to stand in who you are, and that person that is meant for you is going to see that and go, oh my God, Dee, you're amazing. You're the woman I want to be with. If they don't do that, they're not the right woman or the right person. Right woman. You're not the right woman for them. Yes, understand your value. Understand your strength. Understand who you are as a person. Okay, you got any questions, D? Veronica's up next on deck for her reading. And if anyone else wants a reading and you guys have not, let me know if you've sent it via PayPal or if you sent something via Cash App. Just let me know. PayPal keeps logging me out, so I have to keep logging in to see if stuff's in there. Oh, great. They're making me do one of Tiff's favorite things. The how many tractors are in this picture? Runes, cards, whatever you feel. Okay. I've got that. Give me just a second. D. All right. Oh, Diana and Tiffany, both thank you so much for sending stuff over. You two did not have to send anything, but thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. I really think that Oracle and stuff really should be something that encourages people. I really hate the like doomsayers and that kind of fear mongering with cartomancy and stuff. There's some things we got to realize there's challenges in life. And like myself, when I read tarot, I do not read reversals. Reversals were not originally part of tarot readings. And it was a one very specific gentleman, I believe in like the 1700s, if I remember right. I can't remember his name, but he's who started reading reversals in tarot. And he had a group of people around him that he was teaching. And so he taught them to read reversals. And so that's where reversals came in tarot. And so that's where you get that negative connotation to a card being flipped a different way. And quite frankly, I don't think the cards were ever meant to be interpreted that way. It was just this guy's way of doing it. It was just how he felt doing it. Veronica, why don't we do the Sacred Rebels deck with you? Let's do this one. This one's a very strong Divine Feminine deck. Very, very strong Divine Feminine deck. And I think this might work with you. What are you kind of after for the reading tonight? Or if it's something you don't want to say, you don't have to. We can just do kind of a general reading. And Veronica, I'm also more than willing to go into a more in-depth reading for you as well. I've offered a private reading. If you end up wanting one as well, that's no problem. I'll hook you up with that as well. But also tonight, I'm open to doing some spiritual Q&A too. So if anyone's got any questions along those lines on anything spiritual, any questions along those lines, feel free to ask questions. Anything about working with cards. I am going to be offering Lenormand, but I'm probably going to do Lenormand spreads by, like, I might do a few on a live just to show people Lenormand. But I'm probably going to do those spreads privately because they get pretty intense and can take up some time doing the spreads, especially once I start offering the Grand Tableau, which is what I want to really do with people. And I've also thought about offering some services like almost like a monthly reading membership where you'd pay a flat membership fee for the month. And I would give you regular readings throughout the month. And that would include a grand tableau each month. That would kind of be like a here, let's take a look at where you're at with things, and then we would break it down into oracle and tarot and rune readings throughout the rest of the month. And we would take that grand tableau. Karen, let's see. If you feel drawn to me, I would love some messages. Very grateful and thankful. Thank you so much. I love your energy. I'm a strong fan, but feeling kind of beat up today. I've been fighting for women's rights and justice. Karen, let me give you. I'll do a poll for you here in just a few. Let me finish D, or I'm actually doing Veronica's. I finished up D. Sorry. Thank you so much, Dee, for requesting that reading, though. And Veronica, let's get into yours. I've got 3 of your cards pulled so far. I'm feeling it's. We'll see how many cards, but I'm feeling like a 6 to 7 card pull for you today, Dee, or Veronica. Sorry, keep saying the wrong name. I just had 3 cards pop all at once. Those 3 wanted to say hello. All right. Let's see. We got a 7-card spread for you here right now. Veronica, I'm going to go through the cards just like I normally do, and then we will start into the actual reading of the cards. So your first card, I love this card. It's what drew me to this deck originally. It's the Legacy of Light. It's the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone. Let's see. Let's pull this back a little bit, get it into focus. This represents the triple goddess aspect. This is so glorious. Such a beautiful card. So that is your first card. Your second card is going to be Inner Trust. You got some similar cards to what Tiffany got earlier today in her pool with this deck as well. So you got Inner Trust. You got What Is Already With You, which I'm already seeing how these are reading out right now. You have In the World, Not of the World. Love this card. I think it's such a glorious card. It's so beautiful. You got Be the Hunter, Not the Hunted, which you got this beautiful owl with a flower of life laid over top. So pretty, so gorgeous. Hello, Fawn. Hello, Joe. You have the word wants to be written. And then After the Storm. So, Veronica, the Legacy of Light card, it can lay into many different things. But like I said with Tiffany, the Legacy of Light card to me, you're just saying how owls keep talking to you, and there's owls in 2 of the 7 cards that you got. And so you got the Legacy of Light card, and a lot of times when I see this card, it reminds me that there is a power that we each have that comes that often we have as a child, and it's something that we sometimes lose when we get into being an adult. We get conditioned, or we're taught that that's not how things should be, that we need to step away from that, that we need to look at things differently, or people just condition us to not stand in those things that we were gifted as children, that these were things that were gifted to us that we were meant to carry with us. And so you have a Legacy of Light to leave and to carry on. So it's important that you're stepping into that you're stepping into that power, that you're holding that strong. And in doing so, you need to trust in that inner trust. That inner trust is going to be very, very important and very critical. And the next card plays off of it immediately is What Is Already With You. You already have this. You already have that legacy of light. You already have the things that you need. You already have those skill sets. They're within you. You just need to trust what is already there and allow those gifts and those blessings to flow and to flourish and to continue to be part of your life and not try to hide them or dim them or put them down for anyone, because part of the deal is you are in the world but not of the world. That means that we walk through this world, but we don't necessarily go with the flow of society. We don't go with what the mainstream people are saying. We're kind of those fringe dwellers, those rebel hearts that are out there. Why this is called the Sacred Rebel deck. It's all about being that sacred rebel and living out on that fringe. And so that's part of what you're meant to do, is to be one of those fringe people out there that's saying, you know, I live in this world, but I'm not necessarily part of the mainstream societal crap and all the junk that's going on, that I've got something more to offer. And part of making sure in doing all that is to be the hunter and not the hunted. So you don't want to allow people and predators to prey on you, but you want to be able to stand guard and be strong and have your vigil to see when things are coming at you, or seeing when things are coming towards you that you need to go after. So whether or not it's you need to hunt down certain resources or things that you might need in your future or things along those lines, it's really important to make sure that you're the one in control and other people are not preying on you. Make sure you're the alpha in your situation. Okay. That doesn't mean that you have to be egotistical. That doesn't mean you have to lay on being, you know, bossy or anything about that. It just means you need to make sure that you're the one in control and other people aren't preying on you. And the word wants to be written. So whenever I see this, it really makes me think that there's some inspiration. There's some deep inspiration. The monarch butterflies in this picture is gorgeous. And everything is, you know, coming out of that third eye chakra and resonating out up and through and around from the crown, but everything is generating out of that third eye. So there's something in you or about you that wants to get out. There's some knowledge and some wisdom that you feel that you need to maybe share or pass on, or there's going to be knowledge and wisdom that comes to you that you're going to need to share and pass on to others. There's a good chance that some of this is going to tie right back into your experiences of talking about the things that you've went through and the things that you've done, as far as your journey and your path and your healing and what you've done along those lines. Thank you, Joe. And then the last card is After the Storm. You know, after the storm, one of the things that I really think of, and I love a good storm. I love a good thunderstorm. And when you go out after the storm, while the storm may be scary, there's thunder, there's lightning, there can be hail, there can be, you know, heavy rains, damaging weather, everything else. The storms can be really scary, but once we endure through the storms, you step outside and there's that clarity and that pureness, and that it's everything's like really clean and crisp. The air has this just smell to it where it's just amazingly pure. And that beauty that comes after the storm, and that's also where we get, you know, we get our rainbows, we get things like that. But after the storm we've endured, that there's going to be so much more. And think about it too. We've got to go through the storms in our lives. And the storm's coming to end. It's coming to end. This is signifying that storm's coming to end. Okay, Veronica, that storm's going to be coming to an end. There's some other cards that I want to get that are some like time frame cards and stuff, which are really interesting and stuff. That's something to get for the future. But yes, that storm is going to be coming to an end, Veronica. And just remember that the beauty and thing is we have to go through these storms in order to kind of toughen ourselves and strengthen ourselves in ways Let's see. We're gonna block this person because they're in here trying to get other people to go do readings. But Veronica, it's important that we go through these storms because that's what strengthens us. Without going through the storms and the test and the trials, we wouldn't have the strength to stand in our power of who we truly are. Things like if you think about like trees or plants, if when they're growing, if they don't get wind blowing them back and forth, their stalk will never strengthen. That wind blowing those plants and those trees and stuff when they're in their formation, that causes that plant to form a really hard, sturdy, strong stalk so that it can support the fruit that it's growing, that it can support the flowers and the leaves and everything else that it's growing. For trees, it helps them develop that really strong trunk. But if those trees and those plants don't have those storms to challenge them, that wind to blow against them, call you Hercules. It's one of those things that it doesn't give them what they need to be able to stand up through the test of time, and they're just going to eventually collapse under their own weight. But because they've had those trials, they've had to endure that hardship, they've had to endure those storms, they're so much stronger because of doing that. They have learned the strength that is within them. They have grown from that. And that's a very important thing for you to be doing now as the storm's coming to a close, Veronica, is to realize the strength that you've got, that you gained through that storm. Don't allow the storm to break you. You're going to be the one that breaks the storm. You're going to be the storm breaker. You're going to be the one that brings us to the end. And you're going to move on through this, and you're going to stand there successful. You're going to stand there proud. You're going to stand there strong. Hello, Fawn. Yeah, you got any questions, Veronica? I'm glad I finally got to give you a reading. I love these cards. I do. I love these cards. And for those of you who say you love how I read, thank you so much. That means so much to me. The intuitive reading and stuff like this is, I've done this for a while for myself. It's been a challenge for me to step out and doing it. And that's why you see Tiffany giving me so much encouragement with it. She's been a big encourager on me stepping out and doing readings like this. So let's see. Who else was wanting a reading? I had mentioned Karen. I will get you a reading here. I had mentioned to you that I would give you a reading. Are you still with us, Karen? I'm just checking to make sure no one else has sent in any payments that I missed. Karen, a big thing for me in doing all of these things is, one, I'm a very strong supporter of the feminine, and because it has been oppressed and repressed by the patriarchy for so long, it hasn't been honored and respected and taken care of in the divine way that it needs to. And that's because a lot of men have stepped away from their divine masculinity and they don't stand in it. And they look at the feminine as something that's to be dominated, controlled, and exploited for their own personal gain and pleasure, when it is not meant to be that way at all. It's meant to be a union. It's meant to be a balance. It's meant to be a partnership of the divine masculine and the divine feminine working together. And that's, even within ourselves, we all have masculine and feminine energies within our own body, our own spirit, our own soul. And in doing these, and realizing this and working with this, part of us to come into the balance that we need to come into as ourselves is learning to stand in that, both that masculine and that feminine energy as men and women, and work with them in the balance and the conjunctions. And that way that when we work with one another as men and women, not just on an intimate level, but just in our day-to-day lives, that we can respect each other and look at each other and treat each other on that level of that divinity of, hey, I see the sacredness of who you are. I see the sacred feminine aspects that resonate within you, and I want to honor those and respect those and give those the place that they need. Susan, you're in the aftermath of a storm at work, not sure how to proceed. Boss was aggressive and insulted me on a roll. Need to respond to save my self-respect. Susan, sometimes saving your self-respect is just letting the shit go. But if you do need to say something, make sure that you do it in a tactful way, and that you do so in a way that isn't going to necessarily bring up more conflict. Some of the people are going to bring up conflict one way or another. They're going to bring up more aggression no matter what you say. So Susanna, I would very, very much say, judge, weigh the outcomes of how this person may respond versus to how important it is that you need to say something. And if you really feel that you need to say something, then say something, but try to take the time to say it in the most tactful way possible. And especially if they're being really aggressive and insulting, maybe it's a matter of going up above that boss to whoever, they report to, and saying, hey, this is how this person's treating me. I need to address this. This isn't acceptable. This isn't how it should be in a workplace. And if this is how it's going to be, it might be time to start looking for maybe a new place to work. If that boss is going to be that aggressive and they're going to be insulting you, that's not what you need. That's not what you signed up for. Let's see. Still here. I love love this. You're my new favorite. Listening, getting ready for work. Thanks to for everyone for letting me listen in and being a part of the reading. Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. Yeah, most definitely. And tune in like tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern is when I start my live roundtable podcast. And we get into just kind of talking about things like what I've been talking about here. We get into all kinds of different subjects and stuff on there. Now, some of the people, because it's open up to people that's been guests on my show, their opinions don't necessarily reflect my opinions. Karen, yes, let me go ahead and pull some cards for you, Karen. What was it? Let's see. What was it? You said you feel drawn. You're very grateful. Your energy, you're strong feminine, but you're feeling kind of beat up today. You've been fighting for women's rights and justice. Okay. I was looking at the candles we had burning. I started candles at the beginning of everything tonight. We had 2 black candles that were lit for protection. We had 2 beautiful, beautiful purple candles that bring in the divine, that we're bringing into divinity. And then we had a nice green candle for the abundance of bringing in the blessings of abundance, of love, of health, of well-being. And that's not just for myself, that's for all of you guys too. It's for all of you beautiful souls. That inner trust card is just on fire tonight. This card has come out every reading with this deck tonight. Have not pulled this card until tonight. Tonight I've pulled it 3 times. Oh, your next card, Karen. Seeing the true you. That's beautiful. Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words. It really means a lot. And as I continue to do this, there's plans to turn the next room over into a full-blown studio that's going to have tables set up where I can do larger spreads. I'll have cameras pointing down on the spread so you can see them the full time that I'm doing them. I'm I'm also going to be having areas set up where I can do the grand tableau with Lenormand, which I'll show you guys Lenormand cards here in just a few minutes if you're not familiar with what Lenormand are. And I'm also going to be setting up an area to dive in and start to do altar work, where I will show you guys how to set up altars for different seasons, set up altars for different reasons, for like ancestral altars, different aspects of how people set altars up in different belief systems and different cultures. And like I said, setting up altars specifically for like the different seasons, the different holidays, things like that, for different celebrations and festivals. That's going to be a big part of it. Hi, Angie. Greetings. First time here. You're from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. A very, very beautiful area. I've got some friends that live up there. I have never been there, but I know the area. As far up on that west coast, up into that Pacific Northwest area that I have been is up into Seattle. And that region up in through there itself is just gorgeous. And I know it gets even more beautiful when you get up into British Columbia. I'm just pulling cards for Karen right now. We'll pull one more card for you, Karen. Unless more pop out, but I'm feeling led for at least one more card. Oh, you got two more cards. Tonight I might do some free readings, like I'm offering a couple out. But tonight I'm honestly doing paid readings for readings by donation. Hold on, that's not coming up right. Let me grab this so I can put this back in there. Give me just a second, and then I will start in on this reading. Ruth, you're in Ohio? So am I. Karen, you're a history nut, and speaking out against the patriarchy, you're realizing how powerful I speak to teach others through my storm in the last few years. Amen to what you're saying. Beautiful masculine. Thank you. You're going to make me blush over here. I have been in reincarnation for many years, decades. I've always been learning and wanting to see others that are similar path. I just finished my TED Talk to Instacart. I see what is happening in the world, and I speak out, opening up my throat chakra more and more. And I know are we missing the rest of this? There is a great. It looks like it cut off there, Karen. You're in Youngstown. I'm near Cincinnati. I'm about an hour north of Cincinnati. So, Karen, the cards that I got from you are Inner Trust. And here, let me go ahead. I'm going to take that off of the screen so it's not covering up. So we got Inner Trust. We got Seeing the True You. Get this to focus in right so you can see the card really good. If you didn't notice, there's a neat little teacup just sitting back here on the lily pad. Subtle little things like that in these cards that I like. So you got Seeing the True You. You got Coming to Life. You have a big, bold vision. Most definitely a big, bold vision. Very much a big, bold vision. Which is free from judgment, free to love. and there's a shock of the new. God, this card's beautiful. This card is very beautiful. So let's start the reading. Karen, very much so. You're falling on your inner trust already. You're falling on that deep gut feeling for what you're speaking on, what you're talking about, what you're doing, the work that you're doing on honoring the divine feminine, for fighting for women's rights, for fighting for that feminine energy and that feminine power. It's so long been oppressed within our culture and our society, not just here in this country, but all around the world. There's a time that is coming now that is the fall of the patriarchy and the rise of the matriarchy again. That is coming to pass. That is something that we will see. It is in the process of happening right now. The patriarchy is in its final death throes, and it's grabbing on for whatever it can. That's why you're seeing attacks made against the feminine, against women's rights, against things that are coming against any of that feminine energy right now, is because the patriarchy is crumbling and it's lashing out against the feminine energies right now, as it's trying to maintain control and hold on to that last little bit of power, but it's not going to be successful. Part of what you're working on, or you need to work on, is make sure that you're seeing the true you and that other people are seeing the true you. Do not water yourself down. Do not hide who you are. Do not put a mask on for anyone, Karen. Stand in your power and be who you are. Stand in the truth of who it is to be you. As you do that, you're going to start to come to life. You're going to start to feel more alive than you ever have as you let people see you for you, as you take off the mask, as you take off any of the, perceptions that other people have put up, anything that anyone else has talked about that has belittled you, that has brought you down, that has kind of brought you out of way. As you start to strip off those masks and those ideas of what other people have said who you are, and you show them who the true you is, you're going to come to life in a very, very big, vibrant way. You're going to pop. Like, the colors of your life is just going to pop all around. People are going to be drawn to you. They're going to see you. Hi, Debs. How are you doing? Hello, beautiful soul. Karen, people are just going to be drawn to you as those colors come in, as you're starting to really stand in who you truly are, and you take off any of those ideas of what someone else thinks about you. Just shed those things away and stand in your power. Stand in who you are. Do not be afraid to have a big, bold vision. Stand strong, stand proud. Do not be afraid to back down. There's a lot of different symbols in here. This card has a lot of different things to it. There's a lot of different sacred things in this card. You've got the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus. You've got life and death. You've got the new beginnings. You've got endings coming about. But also with this big, bold vision, there's a lot of things that, you need to not. Don't hide yourself. Don't cower. Don't allow someone else to. Don't allow anyone to make you feel small. Stand strong, stand powerful, stand in who you are. Okay? That is very important. And as you do that, you're going to find out that you are free from the judgment of others, and you are free to love, because you are not concerned what others think. And so their judgment is not going to bother you. When you get to the point, and this is a very, very freeing point, and it takes some people a lot of time to get there, and some people might not ever do it in their lifetime. But the very freeing aspect of getting to the point where you no longer allow the judgments or the beliefs or the ideas of someone else to change and affect who you are, that you stand in who you are, that you don't allow them to judge you, that they don't allow them to oppress you, that you don't allow them to say, okay, here's a great thing. Think of this card as the woman, the adulterous woman, when Jesus came up on the adulterous woman and they were stoning her. And he told him, he said, whoever is without sin, let you cast the first stone. y'all are sinners and you're wanting to sit here and judge this person. You have no right to be judging them. And in that situation, Jesus, Yeshua, did nothing to that woman. He didn't pass judgment on her. He didn't say, well, you know what? She's an adulterous woman. Might as well kill her. You know, she committed a sin. He said, nope. He told him to, you know, whoever's without sin, let you cast the first stone. Don't be condemning this woman because you're probably doing shit just as bad or just as wrong, you know. And you know, those people were judging her, and he was allowing her to be free from that judgment. And he showed her love. He told her, you know, go ahead, go forth, go live your life, you know, go be you. He told her to go forth without sin. And you know, but he didn't judge her. He didn't say, oh, well, you know, you're an adulterous woman. We've got to put you down for that. Let me pick up a stone too. You know, all he said was, you know, just love. And so when you get to that point where you learn to not be so controlled by the beliefs and the thoughts and the patterns of other people, it allows you to be really open to just be yourself. And when you start being your true, authentic self, there's just this kind of way that love just kind of boils up and just kind of springs forth and comes out of that situation. And out of all of that, when you really start to break away from all these things, when you bring that big, bold vision, when you allow people to see that true you from trusting your inner self, as you start to come to life, as that big, bold vision comes in, as you free from judgment and you start to be free to truly love how you want to love on that deep, deep, deep level, as you get into there and as you really express what it is to be that divine feminine aspect, standing in that spot, standing in holding space for all the other women, standing in that sacred spot, it's going to bring a shock of the new. People are going to see something and things are going to be shocking. There's going to be new revelations. There's going to be new things that are going to abound. And it's going to shock people. It's going to make people take notice. You're going to make people turn their heads and listen to what it is you have to say. They're going to hear what it is coming out of your mouth, out of the things that you've got to say, out of the things that you got to do to defend. You're going to bring that about, and you're going to give these people a new perspective. You're going to give them a new way of looking at things, and you're going to offer this to them. Now, what they do with that is up to them. That does not reside on you, but it is important that you offer this out there to the people, and you're doing it. You're already doing it. You will continue to do it. And more people will start to see what you're saying or start to listen to what you're saying. They're going to hear what you're saying because your voice is a very important voice, Karen. Please step up, be bold, step into who you are. Do not allow anyone to put you down, to make you feel diminished or little or small in any way, shape, or form. And anyone who makes you feel that way, tell them to back up. Tell them to go away. They're not there for your best interest. They're not there for your best well-being. Then they're not really meant to be part of that cycle of things that you're going through and that you're doing. And so what you do is you cut that out. You get rid of those things. You know, if someone can't be a positive influence in your life and they're just bringing you down, you know, it's time to give that person limited access to you. Tanner! My crazy little beast is going nuts. Hi, come here. Let's say hi to everybody. Say hi. Yep, hi. Yep, you're going to sing them the song of your people? You're going to sing them the song of your people? Yep. Huh? You going to sing the song of your people to them? Got to get some puppy love on the streams. His name's Tanner. He's an Italian Greyhound Chihuahua mix. He is 12 years old. I've had him for 11 and a half. I got him when he was 6 years old or 6 months old. He was a rescue. He was trapped in the fence line. They found him in a storm when I was living out in California. The story with Tanner is someone had called in and reported that there was a baby crying out in the middle of this rainstorm. Yeah, I'll do a poll for the collective, Deb. Give me just a second here. And someone had called and reported they heard a baby crying. The officers responded, went out to search for a child that was in distress, that was lost, and they ended up finding him instead. And it was him stuck in a fence line, unable to get his mouth down to even get the water that was on the ground. He was starving. He was starting to dehydrate. He was stuck in the fence line and he was crying. The officer picked him up, took him to a no-kill shelter where he was fostered there for about 6 weeks. And then that's when I ended up going to the shelter, finding him. And the lady who was fostering him was holding him over her shoulder like this, which is one of his favorite things to do. As she came in, she was just holding him like this, like you would a baby, patting on his back and stuff, And he turned his head, saw me, kicked off of her, and leaped into my arms and has been with me ever since. My name's Joshua McGuire. You can actually follow me fairly easy. Give me a second. You can follow me through, I do podcasting as well. And so this is actually my business page right here that you can connect to me through. And you can message me through there. And you can also set up private readings with me if you'd like to schedule private readings. You want to pull for the collective. Let's see. How should we do this? Oh, I tell you what, Deb, since you asked for the pool for the collective, do you want it off of the deck that I just did, which is the Sacred Rebels deck? I've got the Halloween deck, which is all, Halloween-themed cards and stuff. Beautiful set of Halloween cards. Tanner! He is just being all barky tonight. All kinds of barky tonight. Or I also have my Shamanic healing deck, which I absolutely love this deck. Only problem is they don't show very well on camera because of the glare, the gloss. I like the matte finishes better because they show up better. I don't do auras all that well. I mean, I'm more an energy reader than seeing auras. Tiffany is an aura reader, so Tiffany would be someone to work with. It's Modern Mystic is her business and her pages. I just happen to work with her. I'm one of the approved readers that work with Tiffany. I also work with her and some other aspects and stuff too, working with her pages and stuff. I want to do this before we do the pool for the collective, though, because I was talking about Lenormand. Yes, Tiffany. I love Tiffany so much. Actually, I think Tiffany went to lay down. She was just feeling really drained. She had treatments and stuff today for some of her health issues, and just was feeling kind of tired and went to go lay down a little bit ago. Look at this. You guys see him peeking around the corner? You see this? This is the craziness I put up with this little thing all the time. So, Lenormand cards. This is my deck. One of my decks. I've got two of them. This is the Mirror Truth deck. I love this deck. It's gorgeous. But Lenormand cards are a set of 36 cards that are based on cartomancy. They're based on the suits from your playing cards. So this one is based on the Jack of Hearts. Do I have a link for Tiffany? Honestly, any of the groups that you're in are Tiffany's groups because these are all being broadcasted into Tiffany's groups. So if you're on any of the ways that you're connecting in through this, they're Tiffany's groups. But cartomancy, what you do is you end up laying out a series of cards And they each have symbols on them that have different meanings. And so here, let me just pull a couple of cards out here to maybe give some readings on that will just like if you pulled the mountain card and the dog card together, the mountain card represents obstacles or blockages, and the dog card represents friendships and loyalty. Is there might be some difficulties in some friendships that you're dealing with, or some people that are loyal to you, you might be having some difficulties with them. There might be some blockages or something there that needs to be taken care of, and you got to move through those. Also, likewise, if you get the birds card with the heart card, the bird card stands for communication, for gossip, for chatter, and the heart card stands for love, of course, and that connection. And so what this could be telling you is that there's a need for communication with a partner, or that there's a struggle or a problem with a partner. And depending on how these are laying in the layout and where they're at, they could have different meanings into everything. And that's where you get into the grand tableau, which is where you lay out like all 36 cards, and you read them in reference to each other. And eventually I am going to be offering grand tableau services. They will not be done on lives because they take a while to do and to read. You want to book with Tiffany? I can make sure, Ruth, if you send me a message through my Breaking Reality page, send me a message saying that you're wanting to connect with Tiffany and what you're wanting to connect with her with on the aura readings, and I'll make sure to get you over to Tiffany. I'll put you guys in a group chat together so Tiffany can contact you and reach out to you. That way you can get with her on that. So that's Lenormand, and I have another Lenormand deck. I think it's out in the front room. I don't think I brought it back here tonight. I think I left it out there. So, yeah, it's still sitting out in the front room. So, Deb asked for a reading for the collective. So, I am going to do a pull for the collective. So, give me just a second. Well, first card is It's All Good. And that one just came flying out of the deck. So for the collective, starting off pretty good. Our second card is Perception. I'm feeling 4 cards for the collective. Third card is Burden. And the fourth card is Divine Timing. So when we start looking at it, it's all good. That basically is telling you, don't worry, the universe has got you taken care of. So this is a pull for the collective. So this is a pull for all of us, okay? This is a pull for every single one of us that's right here, right now. So what this stands for is, it's all good. The universe has got us. The universe has trust in us. And if we trust in the universe, it's got our back. Don't worry about things. Don't fret about things. It's that don't sweat the small stuff kind of mentality, because if you do, you fret and you make a big deal out of, make mountains out of molehills, and that blows up into a bigger problem. And sometimes we just got to realize it's okay to let that crap go, to just let it be, that it's all good. And the universe has us, and we're going to be taken care of. And it's kind of funny because earlier today, I was just like, okay, well, I really need to pull some finances through for later in this week. And guess what? The universe is taking care of me. I definitely have what I need to get through this week. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be taken care of. I don't have to worry about it. The universe has provided. It's all good. It's got me. And so the next card is Perception. And so one of the things is the universe has us taken care of. We got to use our senses and our perceptions to see everything. And I'm not just talking about our physical senses, but also our spiritual senses. We need to be using discernment. We need to be working with our third eye. We need to be working with our intuition. We need to be working, the intuition is those gut feelings. We need to work with those feelings that are telling us, what's out there, but we need to be using our perception of all different levels in order to do so. And as we're working with our perception, we've got burdens that are going to come along, but burdens aren't necessarily a bad thing. Everyone will hear burdens and they think, oh crap, man, burdens, what, so bad, so heavy. So, no, here's the trick about burdens. Burdens are a thing that you need to know when it's the time to carry them and when it's the time to put them down. It's just like the ant. When the ant picks up something that's much heavier than what it is, what it weighs, that can be a burden for it to carry, but the ant is able to carry it. It's able to use its strength to carry that through, to carry that burden to where it needs to, and then it puts it down, and it doesn't worry about it. After it's done dealing with that burden, the ant puts that leaf down. And it moves on to what's next, what it needs to do next. It doesn't carry that leaf around with it while it's trying to gather 4 other different things for food for the colony. It doesn't try to carry that leaf around as it's trying to dig out a home for the colony. That ant doesn't carry that leaf around constantly everywhere it goes. It knows the lesson of when to put the burden down and when to move forward. And the thing is, we need to know when the divine timing is to handle all these things of when to put those burdens down, when to pick them up, when to carry them, and when to let them go. The thing is, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to come in divine timing. Everything's going to come to a fruition. But it's just a matter of realizing it's not necessarily the timing that you want or how you want it, or maybe even the way you want it. But the divine timing will come through. And that's the really neat thing about the universe is you may think, hey, I want to go make some money today, and I'm going to do it by doing XYZ. And while you're sitting there and you're thinking about things and stuff, the universe might say, okay, well, that's not going to happen today. It's going to happen tomorrow instead. And it's not going to be XYZ. It's going to be ABC. And if you're not open to ABC, sorry, XYZ is not going to happen. Yeah, it really is kind of like the song "The Gambler" by Kenny Rogers, because you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You got to know when to go all in, and you got to know when to say, hey, this isn't the hand for me. I'm going to wait for the next one. You can keep your money. I'm going to kick back, and I'm going to wait for the next one. Has anyone else sent in funds for a reading that I did not cover? I just want to make sure, because I do not want to miss out on anyone who has. And if anyone would like a reading, here is, hold on, I got to go snag this information up again. Give me just a second. Here's all the information on the readings. Who is Facebook user? Just so I know, because it's just bringing you up as Facebook user on StreamYard. Person that just asked for the 1 card pull, please. Thank you so much, Joe. Which deck would you like the card pulled from as well? I've got the Halloween, the Sacred Rebels, and the Shamanic Oracle. I've got some other decks. I'm just not working with them tonight. Like, I got this beautiful Rumi deck. I've got an Earth Warrior Oracle deck that's a really gorgeous deck. I've got an Isis deck, which I've just struggled connecting with, but I'm just kind of using that deck more as a study into Isis. Got this Dragon Oracle deck, but I just can't connect to that deck. So who knows? We might see. Diana, are you still around? I don't know if Diana's still here or not. I know it's getting awful late. She's not around. This is the Dragon deck that I've got. I just have trouble connecting with it. Hello! Whoever just said hi, it just says Facebook user in my StreamYard, so I don't know who you are. If you could please tell me who you are, that way I know. You just type your name in, just say, whatever. Yeah, you're asking for the one card. I want to know who you are so I can kind of connect with energies and stuff to pull the one card. I have no idea who you are. Tina, okay. Tina, I will pull a card for you. But yeah, like, I've got these cards. I just have trouble relating to them. I have trouble connecting to them. They're kind of neat. But I struggle with these a little bit as far as just connecting to them. Certain decks I connect to, certain decks I don't. I thought I would connect to these ones. I bought them. I got them off of Amazon. There was a gift from someone that sent them to me. And I've just, like I said, I've just had a hard time connecting to the deck. They're nice. Yes, I'm still on. Hi, Tiff. How are you doing? Do you want to come on and join me? Are you feeling better? Are you up for it? I'm good to go for a little while if you want to. Oh, Tiff. Hold on. Let me scroll up here. Ruth Raymond. Ruth right here. She is wanting to connect with you, Tiffany, on Tina. Is this Tina that says I'm waiting on your card? I will get to your card in a second. If it is a paid pool, I will pull priority, but if it is not a paid pool, it will be at my discretion when it comes along my time. I'm not trying to be mean or be rude, but if I'm talking to someone, please don't keep insisting for a card pool when it's not a paid pool, when it's something I'm going to be doing free and generously, okay? I have no problem doing so, but please be respectful on saying that. And if you're just in here for a card pool and you want in and out, because I even asked you, which of the 3 decks did you want? And you didn't respond. I asked if you was interested in the Sacred Rebels deck, if you was interested in the Halloween deck, if you was interested in the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck. Which of the 3 cards you wanted a single card pull from? The first one? Okay. And the card that popped for you right off the bat was Focus on the Light. So continue to focus on the light, focus on the positive things. Don't get so wrapped up into darkness and to negativity. If you're dealing with some dark things, continue to focus on the light to continue to be the beacon to help pull you out of there. Very much like you would, ships would pay attention to a lighthouse to make sure that they don't crash into the shore and that they know where they're going. That light is a very important thing for them to focus on. And so continue to focus on the light as you're going through and you're doing things, and this will continue to help you pull through your day-to-day and whatever it is that you're challenging and you're going through. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Everyone has been so beautiful tonight and so encouraging with their words. This has been a very, very beautiful night for me. A very special night and a very blessed night. Tiffany, Ruth is wanting to do, she wants some aura readings and stuff, and I told her that's more your skill set than mine. And I told her that I would put her in contact with you. And I'm good to continue going on for a little while. If you guys just want to hang out, we can just talk, we can chit chat, we can continue to do some pools, we can continue to do readings. If someone wants to pop on and grab another reading or two, throughout the night, that's fine. Tiffany, if you end up feeling like you want to jump on for a little bit and hang out, I know you've been tired. You had a big day today. You had a long day today. I'm going to light this Palo Santo again because I want some more Palo Santo. Couldn't find my lighter. So what I'm doing is I'm actually using a torch and I'm lighting a stick of Palo Santo using a little creme brulee torch. Palo Santo, if you're not familiar with Palo Santo, it's just wood. It comes from the Palo Santo tree, which is in South America and some of the Central America, I believe. This comes from Peru. It's where this is harvested out of. It's a sacred tree. It's a very powerful form of incense. It's used for cleansing and purifications. And it's just a great, I love the smell of it. I've got some oils that has cedar, sage, Palo Santo, sandalwood, yoba oil, hemp oil, some orange peel oil. Just a very glorious oil, all sacred holy oils, all very beautiful combined together. And I use them on a regular basis. Actually, I carry them and wear them almost like a cologne. Because I hold the belief that, because the person that gave them to me said, here, take this and wear these oils and use these oils when you do sacred things. And so I just put them on each day because I believe that each and every day, I don't play when I'm lighting Palo Santo. I'm not gonna sit there with this little lighter for 3 hours and burn the crap out of my finger trying to light a Palo Santo stick. Let's see. How do you wear what? Oh, the oils? Give me a second. I'll be right back. Let me just go grab them. All right. So the oils I got just came in this little bottle. They got a cap on them. I just took the cap off. So they could just come in a little spray bottle. This one doesn't mist, which I'm not a big fan of that. The spray cap on this one does more like a stream. And so what I'll do, you can see oils are running down. I just rub them in like that. I'll take them and rub them into my beard because they're beard oils and stuff too. I'll just put them on my wrist. Sometimes I'll put a little on my finger, put a little bit behind the ears or on the neck. Sometimes I'll put them on the heart chakra. Sometimes if I'm really feeling up to it, especially if I'm getting ready to do a lot of ceremonial work, just put it over the third eye, almost like a blessing, like an anointing. Yeah, the carrier oil for these is hemp, olive oil, and yoba oil or jojoba oil. So I was talking about Lenormand cards earlier. This is my other Lenormand deck I grabbed when I went out there. Tiffany sent me this deck. And this is the Fairy Lenormand. So it's all fairies in it, which is very appropriate for this time of year. And also I'm Fae-Tut, so I've got a very big connection to fairies and the Fae and sprites and everything. And that's that deck. Now, this is a little bit bigger deck than the other Lenormand deck. This is large for a Lenormand deck because most of them are the size of like standard playing cards. And this deck is kind of like the size in between like an Oracle deck, a Tarot deck, and a Lenormand deck. It's like kind of shaped more like the Oracle card shapes. Almost about as wide as a Tarot deck, but not as tall. And then another deck that I've got that I grabbed while I was out there that I didn't have back here is my Divine Circus deck. Love this deck. This is a beautiful deck. Not really doing readings off of this deck tonight, but I'll show it off a little bit. If you want to get readings off of this deck, schedule a reading with me, and we'll go more in depth because this deck takes a little more in depth and time to read. You got Play Your Hand, Voice of an Angel, Rah, 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 Crown of the Butterfly Bambini, The Juggler, Lady Luck. This deck's a gorgeous deck. I love this deck. And this is the Divine Circus deck. It says this deck is for guidance for a life of sacred subversion and creative confidence. So it's another deck that I do offer readings out of. I'm just not offering it tonight. Tonight I'm very specifically working with these three decks in the runes. So that's just where I'm at tonight on what I'm working with tonight. I'm trying to keep my cards all organized and stacked up over here. And then, like I said, I've got my Rumi deck, which follows the Sufi poet Rumi. There you can see some of the artwork on it. This deck, very good for love. Dealing with things of love, with self-love, love of your community, just love in general, partner love, everything else. Then the other deck I have is the Earth Warrior Oracle deck. This is another deck I'm offering. This deck I will do private readings off of, like I said, tonight. Not really going into that tonight. And here's some examples of some of the art off of it, too. It's not really catching it right. Mariposa is who does the art on this, and Mariposa does amazing artwork on that. It's gorgeous. And then here's the Isis deck. I just can't connect to this deck. I love the art and stuff on it. I think it's nice looking. But as far as doing readings from this deck, I have had no luck doing readings from this deck. It is one of those decks I just struggle to connect to. But I like it. I enjoy it. And then, like I said, on Halloween, I'll do my first official tarot readings. I'll do those on lives that day. I'm going to be using this deck particularly. I'm also going to be using another jack-o'-lantern deck that I'm going to be ordering. But Tiffany purchased this deck for me. I am a huge fan of the Nightmare Before Christmas. I love the fact that the High Priestess card is Sally. The Chariot. The Fool. Let's see. What do we got there? The Two of Presents. Queen of Presents. Mrs. Claus. Mrs. Sandy Claus. The Hanged Man. For those of you who know Nightmare Before Christmas, you know where these come from. The Lovers. Jack and Sally. And then it's potions, needles. What is the other ones? Presents and potion, needles, presents, and what was the other one? Candles. That's the suits in this one. And absolutely just love this deck. And so in preparation for doing readings that day, I just work with this deck right now on my own. And then, of course, I've got the standard Rider-Waite tarot deck. Not a huge fan. I just don't connect with the Rider-Waite. Just don't. Oh yeah, definitely on Halloween. Definitely tune in, Ruth, on Halloween. We'll be doing it through StreamYard. So if you're in any of these groups, you'll see it posted. Actually, Tiffany, what I want to talk to you about. Well, part of the Rider-Waite stuff was the Rider-Waite deck was done by the. It took the tarot deck, which was older than what that is, but that's like the tarot deck that everyone knows. But the Rider-Waite deck was actually most of the major arcana was kind of kept the same, but the minor arcana didn't have pictures on them, and they commissioned a lady to put pictures on the minor arcana cards. And it was the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn that done that. So all of that stuff is influenced through the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn's images and how they perceive tarot. I want to get some of the decks that go back that predate them. Yeah, the original minor arcana was just pip cards. Yeah. And I want to get some of the older tarot decks just to have as examples and to work with as well. But I do like the newer modern tarot decks that are themed in different ways. Because you can kind of pull them out for different things. Like I'm definitely going to be pulling that Nightmare Before Christmas deck out. Actually, I'll probably come out anytime because I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's one of those great things. But definitely through, now to the end of the year, it's going to be a big deck in the rotation for things. Kicking off Halloween, going through the holiday season and stuff. We got to get into that whole kind of vibe and that feel. Oh, I love this time of year. Like the other day, I walked outside and you get that sound of the leaves blowing down the streets and the sidewalks and stuff. And you hear the leaves rustling as they blow and everything. Hi, Stacy. How you doing? And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But if anyone is in here and would like a reading, I'm still continuing to do readings. Here is the suggested donations. Oh, to me, this time of year is glorious. And, it's a really fun time of year. To me, this time of year is the time to do those celebrations. It's that last real big hurrah of being outside, of getting out in nature before the cold weather starts to set in for the winter and everything. And then as that comes in, that's the time of year where I hunker down inside and I go like all, that's That's when I like to do a lot of crafting is through the winter. That's when I like to do a lot of studies and research and reading and really dive deep into things. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic on how things are going to be coming about. I'm staying hydrated. I've been sipping on, I'm not going to tell you it's not water, but I do have water. But yes, I've been drinking plenty of water throughout the day. I drank pretty much water all day long today before starting this live. Oh, I can do the hibernation in the winter too, and I can do the hibernation in the summer too. It's like, it's too hot. We're gonna go hibernate. We're gonna go lay down. We're gonna go snuggle up in a corner, and this is what we're gonna do. Elixir hot chocolate before bed. Hell yeah. I like doing cacao ceremonies where you take 100% pure raw cacao, you get it in the paste form, and you boil water, measure out the cacao, put it into your mug, put the water in your mug, put a little pinch of cayenne pepper, a little bit of honey to flavor it because pure cacao is extremely bitter. And then I put that in a blender. I'll dump it in the blender. I put it into the mug just to measure it out to make sure I get the right measurements for everything. I'll put that in the blender, blend that up, and it gets real light and frothy and foamy and really nice. And then I pour that into my mug, and I'll go and I'll drink on that, and I'll sip on that, and I'll spin my meditations. Cacao is really healing for the heart chakra. I tell you what, I currently am out of cacao right now because I gave some to a friend. I gave what I had left to a friend of mine who needed it for some work. So I will order some cacao in, and when I get it in, I will actually do we'll do some stuff with cacao ceremonies. Maybe like one Saturday morning or something. We'll do a cacao ceremony together. I'll get everything set up, and we'll just walk through it all together. And that will be one of those things that I'll show. I'll show you guys how to prep it, how to prepare it, what to do. It's not hard. It's too hot or too cold. Yep. Oh, I love turmeric and everything. And yeah, if you use turmeric with something, you gotta throw a little black pepper in there. The stevia. See, I stay away from soy protein unless it's a really, really good organic soy. I prefer to go for a hemp-based protein, and this is because your body has trouble breaking soy down fully. But if you find a hemp-based protein powder that you put in, the important thing with that is hemp is the only plant-based protein that your body can fully break down and digest all the proteins in it. It can also break down, it also contains all of the essential amino acids that your body needs. So if you're using a hemp powder, which is just uses the hemp seeds, that's going to be really, really beneficial for you. And the thing is, I know about this because I used to be an industrial hemp activist. And so I talked about the benefits of hemp as food and everything else. Yeah, you got to be really careful with soy. Soy can have some bad effects. But I mean, if you're okay with soy and soy's not giving you a problem, Karen, then by all means stick with it. Me personally, I prefer the hemp. I think it's a much better plant for us to use instead of the soy. So that's just one of those things to look at too, as you're going through all those things and doing those things, and yeah. Kitchen alchemy is amazing. Kitchen alchemy is amazing. Kitchen alchemy can be very amazing, can be very fun, can be very powerful. It's really deeply it's really strong, deep magical tools to work with as well. Tiffany can help out with some of that stuff too. She knows all about that. But does anyone have any more questions on spiritual questions Q&A? We don't necessarily have to do readings. We can do a little chit chat talk until, you know, I'm good to go for a little while. I've been doing good, sitting here, feeling good. I'm feeling the vibe. You're fading again? Well, go get some sleep, Tiff. Go get some rest. You need it. Love you, Tiff. Get some rest. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, we will be doing our reading. And we will be going up until probably around midnight or so. Sometimes we'll go a little later. So yeah, we're going to be doing readings. And yeah, or not readings. We're not doing reading stuff. We're not doing readings tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we are doing the live roundtable discussion. And so yeah, Tiffany will be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna invite Brittany to come over there and do there. What didn't you understand what I was saying, Ruth? Feel free to ask. That's kind of what the spiritual Q&A is. That's why we do these. The spiritual Q&As here. If we're talking about something you don't understand, be like, hey, got a question. Yeah, I'm gonna send a link over to Britt and invite her to join in. I don't know if she'll be able to or not, but if she is, she can. If not, then you know she's welcome when she's available. What was I saying there, Ruth, that you didn't understand? Oh, about the ingredients in the cacao? Here, let me do this. I'll just do a screen share with you guys. I'll show you exactly what it is. I get my cacao paste. I don't go. You can go stupidly expensive and spend stupid amounts of money for this stuff, or you can be smart and you can order it from places like if I found someone that was carrying cacao that was like not a corporation, which you know most places I find are corporate places that are carrying it. This is what I get. Give me a second. Let me do a screen share here. Share screen. Why are you not doing the screen share? There we go. I literally get this cacao right here. Greenfield Superfood Organic Cacao Paste. This is 24 ounces, 1.5 pounds, 100% cacao with the cacao liqueur, which means it's just all extracted. It's just they take everything out. You've got the paste, you got everything in there, and that's what you want. You want all that stuff. They basically just process the bean, the cacao bean, and everything else is left here, and that's what you've got in the paste. And like I said, you order this off of Amazon and you put about 2 ounces in. So you're looking at like 12 doses for 12 ceremonies for $20 out of this. So yeah, when you're looking at it, you know, Yeah, and it's rich in iron, magnesium, phosphorus, calcium. It helps lower cholesterol levels. Like pure raw cacao like this is amazing. Regulates hormonal metabolism, including helping regulate weight loss. That is, and cacao is what they make chocolate out of. That's what they end up processing and making cocoa. And then they take the cocoa powder and use it to make chocolate. You got two tuna pound? Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. It is really good stuff. And so like that's the kind of things that I encourage people to pick up. And like if you're gonna sweeten this with honey, try to find some like local honey, try to find some raw honey, try to keep this thing as organic and natural as you can get. And getting local raw organic honey will help, has a lot of benefits, as well as doing things like helping with like allergies and stuff in the area, because if you're ingesting the honey, you're going to build up a tolerance to those pollens and stuff that are in that area, and so it's going to help you with allergy issues. So even while you're working with these kind of things for ceremonial uses or just for your own personal enjoyment, because you can make a very, very tasting cup of cocoa with the cacao. You can make a very, very tasty beverage with it. Highly enjoyable. And so as you're going through and you're doing these kind of things with these plants and you're working with these different things, try to think of ways that if you're going to be like ingesting this stuff, add things into it that's going to help with your health anyways. Things that it's ways it's going to stack, ways it's going to increase, ways it's going to compound upon each other. Yeah, definitely look into it, Ruth. Like I said, it's really bitter the way it is, and so it needs a little bit of honey with it to sweeten it. And if you really want to bring out the flavors in that, just add a pinch of cayenne into it, because cayenne pepper right in with that cacao, it brings a beautiful blend. It doesn't have to be a bunch of cayenne, just like a pinch, just kind of bring that little oomph to it, but it really doesn't bring a heat. It doesn't bring that hot. It just kind of balances out with those flavors really nice, especially with the bitterness of the chocolate. That heat and stuff from the cayenne really kind of blends and mellows everything out together, because the bitterness and the honey will mellow out the heat from the cacao, and the cacao will kind of take away some of the sweet from the honey, or the cayenne will take, and the cacao will too, will take away a little sweet from the honey because of the bitterness and the heat, the capsicum that's in there, and the cayenne, and all these things work together in a union. And this is like Tiffany said, it's kitchen alchemy, it's kitchen magic. This is stuff that we use to help. And this cacao was used by Mesoamericans for spiritual purposes. I mean, as far back as they can record, like as far back as they know, it was used by tribal cultures through the regions where it growed as a sacred plant for sacred ceremonies. And if there's reports that they would do these in really high concentrations of the cacao, and they would actually end up using that to go into some shamanic journeys and stuff as well, because they would do super, super intense concentrations of it and drink that. And then with the combination of rhythmic dancing and drumming and other things, they could use that to drop into a shamanic journey where they would travel to other realms. They would go on vision quests. They'd have different things going on along those lines. And so that's it's kind of the history behind the cacao a little bit. It's kind of the quick and fast version of it. But that's some stuff that I'll go into more in some other shows that I'm going to do. Yeah, the Aztecs, the Incans, the Mayans, they all use it. It was used all the way down through Peru, and everything else. Karen, reach out to me. I can talk with you about stuff for shamanic journeys. You can do shamanic journeys using psychedelic substances such as peyote, ayahuasca, psilocybin, mezcal, San Pedro, or you can also do it through things like holotropic breathing, through meditation, through rhythmic drumming, rhythmic dance. There's different ways to drop into shamanic journeys. And I can work with you on some of that and maybe help you figure out which one would be the best for you and your situation, and then we can try to see if we can't facilitate that for you in some way, shape, or form. I know depending on where you're at, I know some places that actually facilitate doing some of those things. Some really trusted centers where you can go and work with those medicines with people where you'll be safe, protected, and cared for. Oh, you tried peyote? See, peyote was my first experience at 15. That was my induction into this path. I was inducted onto the path of the mystic at age 13 by a Lakota Sioux medicine man who took me through the process of a couple of sweat lodges. And after the second sweat that I'd done throughout that weekend, we went into a peyote ceremony. And it was an absolutely beautiful peyote ceremony. And it's what started my journey along this path that I'm on now. Oh, absolutely. It was a glorious, glorious experience. It was a beautiful experience. Um, One of those things that I'm very blessed to have been given that kind of rite of passage into this at that point in time, because that's something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do, is a major rite of passage like that. And I was gifted that opportunity. I was given that experience, which is something that is very, very sacred to me. The Indian mushrooms? Are you talking about the ghost pipe mushrooms? There's sometimes we'll call them a peace pipe or a prayer pipe. You take medicinal mushrooms like reishi and lion's mane, turkey tail, cordyceps, stuff like that. Karen, definitely reach out to me, message me, and I can I can pass on some information to you on that stuff. I absolutely have no problem helping pass that information along. Probably going to go about another 15 minutes if no one wants a reading. And we'll just chat for about another 15 minutes, and then I will probably call it there. I do have a doctor's appointment in the morning I have to go to, so I do have to get up for that. But it's no big deal. I'm just going and getting stitches taken out from where I had a cyst removed last week. So may I ask, since you did this facing all your worst experiences, even ones you blocked, how is that helpful in the end? You can't grasp that? I mean, oh, you're not clear where to see me again. Okay, hold on a second. Let me send this. This is a link to my personal, well, not my personal Facebook, but this is my business Facebook. This is where you can communicate with me. I'll just put that link in the chat. That should pop up in there. And if you don't see that, let me know. Here, let me do this. That way it will show it everywhere. Or here, we'll do this one. That is where you can contact me. And under my services, I'm starting to list things for doing readings there too, where you can book readings through me under the service tag there. So there's going to be things for coming up for Lenormand, for tarot, for oracle, for runes. Eventually I'm going to start doing pendulum readings. I just don't have any pendulums right now because I've lost a lot of my stuff and moves over the years, and that's something I just haven't replaced yet. But I'm in the process of getting some commissioned. So that stuff's all in the process of coming back to me. All those things that I lost throughout the years are being returned, and that's all stuff I knew was going to happen. Maybe not the exact same items I had, but they're coming back in different ways, and often coming back in much better ways than what I even had before, which is the beauty in it all. Ruth, in facing the things, the biggest thing is, even with your traumas, that's the thing. You've got to face everything, even with your traumas, and understand that your traumas are part of the experience, and you've got to work through those and integrate those into your life as part of your experiences. A good buddy of mine by the name of Darren McGavin, who has been through some horrible experiences. Darren has faced some of the worst of the worst. This man blows my mind because Darren will tell you, he says, hey, my traumas are my blessings. The things that he went through, the traumas that he went through, he has turned those around into blessings where he uses those as ways to help others. And I've done the same. That's part of what I'm doing. And I know a lot of others who are doing the same things as well, where instead of allowing a traumatic experience to be like, oh, well, that was really shitty and that screwed my life up and I'm depressed and I'm anxious. And trust me, I've been through all that. And I know a lot of people are suffering with that. And a lot of people are going through that. And that's a hard thing. But it also comes to a point to where you have to shift mentally and say that I'm no longer going to live as a victim of what happened to me. I am a survivor. I've got through it. And now I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn the script on that. And what was bad, I'm going to turn that into something that is positive to help others. And so what Darren does is he takes his experiences that he went through his traumas and his abuse, and then what he worked through in his healing process and everything. And he works as a shamanic practitioner, and I work from a shamanic standpoint and view a lot as well. But I also work from multiple viewpoints and standpoints in the spiritual realm and access. But I really work a lot from that shamanic and that druidic kind of standpoint and view on things. And so I've got a little different point of view of looking at things on some stuff as well. But Darren's whole thing is his blessing. His traumas are his blessings. Those traumas gave him the ability to be able to work with other people who have endured those same things and help them heal from them. And that's how he is able to use those as blessings for others. Which I think is really, really critical. And anytime that we work through any kind of trauma or we work through anything horrible, we need to try to look at what we can do to take the lessons from that and not only help ourselves, but help others who are maybe going through the same thing. Anybody got any questions? Anybody have anything they want to ask before we wrap things up for the night here in about 10 minutes? I've had a lovely night hanging out with everyone tonight. I do want to say that. Thank you so much for everyone who paid for readings. Thank you for everyone who's come out tonight and asked questions. Thank you for everyone who's just been here, just chilling and enjoying and kicking it tonight. I'm glad and grateful for each and every one of you. Each and every one of you end up being part of my journey. You've been doing so much research on trauma, mental health, history. This is part of what you share with peeps. Doing a complete life review too. Watch many folks to learn online. Yes, I think that could be my path to help others heal. I want to learn more always. My healing first must be complete. First I know. Karen, your healing doesn't have to be totally complete. I was talking to this with someone the other day. You definitely do need to get to a point in your healing process where you're grounded, you're sturdy, you've got your base, you got your structure, you've got that firm foundations, and it's not going to be a huge issue if, you know, there's some storms or some rocky weather. But like, even on my own personal traumas, where I've healed things, I end up finding as that stuff heals, there's maybe some deeper layers that I didn't even realize that were there that occasionally will come up. And then I have to kind of dig into those and deal with that. And that comes back around. And that's still just continuing on that healing process. And it's not always like that bad, horrible, oh my God, the world's falling apart because, you know, I'm dealing with, you know, repercussions of trauma that happened to me 20 years ago or, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's a matter of going, okay, I've healed through a lot of this, but there's still some deeper stuff there that I didn't realize. You know, there's still some deeper things there that I didn't quite see, that I didn't acknowledge, I didn't understand. And so now, as I've gotten to a deeper point of understanding, I can work through those, heal those, and take care of that issue. And so the healing process is something that continues to go on and deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, there's times where I thought, oh, man, okay, I'm fully done. I'm healed over that. I'm taking care of that. That's not a problem anymore. And then the next thing you know, it's like a freight train that hits me out of nowhere. Well, honestly, downsizing, leaving a major relationship, a long-term relationship during the height of the pandemic, I'd be enough to probably trigger just about anyone for anything that they've dealt with. So don't really allow that to beat yourself up with that, okay? The fact that you've dealt with that you've went through that you're dealing with that aspect, look at what were the things that caused those triggers and try to work with healing those triggers. And there, I bet there was probably several factors that cause those triggers. But you can feel free to reach out to me. We can talk and discuss those things one-on-one if you would like. I have no problems doing those kind of things. Just know that anything I do would just be kind of like a spiritual coaching or maybe some spiritual guidance. I can't actually offer counseling as of yet. I'm in the process of working to become an ordained minister through the International Metaphysical Ministry or the International Ministry of Metaphysics. And once that happens, I will then be able to go into more spiritual counseling as an ordained minister. Oh, journaling and pulling your own tarot is amazing. And keeping a tarot journal is a very amazing thing to do as well. I haven't started doing my journals. I kind of started to mess with them, but I haven't really kicked them up the way I need to. So that's some stuff I might actually work on this week and start doing some of the journals. And I've thought about putting the journals in an online format somewhere so people can check out my online tarot, oracle, Lenormand, and rune journals as I work with each of the different forms of divination that I work with. And there's going to be a lot more coming in the future. There's a lot of plans in process, not just with myself with Breaking Reality, but with working with Modern Mystic, working with Tiffany, working with the community here, and just connecting deeper and deeper with this community. But actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I gotta go pee. And it's only about 5 minutes until stream's over, and I really don't want to wait another 5 minutes. But yeah, it has been so great connecting with all of you guys. Most definitely namaste. The sacredness in me honors the sacredness in you. I respect that. I see that. Look at these scammers coming in right at the end. Coming in. Come do a reading with me. Come do a reading with me. When they're coming into someone else's stream trying to do that. That is so rude, people. Message me. Say, hey, can I do readings with you? Be surprised. I might say yes. But I want to say thank you once again to everyone coming out tonight. It has been a pleasure. It has been a joy. I love each and every one of you. Remember, you are all beautiful souls. You are all sacred beings. And I just block the scammers. That you're all sacred beings and that you are loved. And if you guys want to, tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be going live with my roundtable discussion. That will be with the Breaking Reality stuff. You'll see that through the Breaking Reality of the show. There will be links that will link you over to my YouTube. Actually, give me a second and I'll just get you my YouTube links as well before I go. Because this will take you to my channel for my podcast where there's like a bunch of episodes for a bunch of shows. Also, the past lives for the past few weeks have been up there. And so you can join us there as well tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. We will be going live, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. And more than likely, I'm going to be back doing lives later on in this week too. So we'll be doing this on again. So I will see you guys later. Have a good night and be blessed.